Welcome to the NerdLore podcast. We talk stories, theories, and lore. I'm your lone host tonight, Shiny Shoes, and I'm joined by STLRag3 and Jimmy Skinny. STLRag3, you tell them a little bit about yourself?
Hey, I'm STLRag3. I am the founder of the House of Rage. I'm a variety streamer, and I like to have long walks on the beach.
Okay, good. Jimmy Skinny, could you tell them a little bit about yourself?
I'm Jimmy Skinny. I'm not skinny, so it's ironic.
Yeah.
And I like chicken nuggets and video games. And now Pokemon. My wallet hates me for it.
Yeah, I think everybody's wallet's hating them for it. So tonight, we're going to talk about cards and what's happening in the card market. Also with other collectibles and items that you're having trouble to find. There's a reason for this, and we're kind of got to go through it. So first, I want to talk to them about their experience. Both of these individuals are kind of new to Pokemon, or maybe I'd say new to collecting cards. So let's talk about that.
I think first thing we need to get out of the way is the proper pronunciation of the word Pokemon.
Okay. What do you feel?
I say Pokemon, and you say Pokemon.
Pokemon.
And I enjoy saying Pokemon.
No, he doesn't. There's no way he says it like that.
It's not the proper pronunciation, but I like to say Pokemon because it's fun.
Pokemon. So that's.
I'd actually argue and say Pokemon because it's, the E.
Pokemon. So you guys might not know this. Tonight we're trying to do NerdLore live as one of the offshoots. So we may have things that chat brings in and talk about. Pokemon. I say Pokemon. 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 Pokemon.
It's one of those things that you change the way you say it if you're thinking about how you're saying it.
Yeah. I feel like I get the closest to whatever whatever the song says. Pokemon, ooh, a heart so true. So I feel like that's what it is. A heart so true. Pokemon. So that's what I feel. If we're going into it, so let's kind of talk about you guys starting this journey. So what got you into it? Rage, we'll start with you.
Well, let's see. I honestly don't know. It might have been a little bit of you that got me into it. I've just, I've been watching. I mean, Shining Fates, when I was looking at those cards, I mean, it's a big variation. I mean, just the cards that you can open. I mean, just the different styles. It's definitely a nice set to open. That kind of got me into it. I mean, we can't deny the price tag that's on some of these high roller cards. So I've been definitely diving in deep with the Pokemon lately.
So would you say that the risk reward or the gambling aspect maybe played a part into it? So, hey, you can pull something that's just absolute fire? Or is it more so a bit of the collecting aspect of it? Or, you see a lot of people doing it, so now you kind of want to try it as well?
I mean, it's both. I mean, normally I'm not one to jump on the bandwagon. Obviously, a lot of people have been buying them up. A lot of scalping has been taking place, but it's a little bit of both. I definitely like the collecting aspect. I have some cards that, I pulled the Charizard. It's not the Shining, but the VMAX. Well, that's like a $90 card. I could sell that, but I'm probably going to hold on to it. It's a pretty cool looking card. So, I mean, there's some cards that are only worth a little bit that, still what the Jirachi, that's like an $11 card, I think, but I could probably sell that for 11. But the art on it is so cool, it's something that I would just keep. So it's a little bit of both. I'm definitely keeping some things sealed in the future. I've been saying that now. I've been opening things, but just a lot of cool cards. I love seeing them.
Yeah. So I've been opening as well, and I open with this individual, Nerdy Guys to Watch, and we kind of go through that and open those things up. I can feel that with you. So Jimmy Skinny, same question. What got you into it, and what really drives your continuation in this kind of hobby?
Well, see, for me, it's a little bit different. So for me, it was watching a fellow streamer open up packs online, and used to watch him, and I'd ask him questions because I'm old, so when Pokemon came out, I was not even close to paying attention to it. So I just started watching it, and I was like, yeah, this is actually a card game, too. This would be really cool for me to play with my kids.
So That's a good into it too. So age-wise, I was raised during, like, I was hitting, trying to be the popular kid in that, you get 3rd and 4th grade, you really start caring about what people think. And back then, Pokemon was what the cool kids were doing. So, me, I'm on that bandwagon. I'm like, hey, I want to be a cool kid too. So I kind of grew up with it, but you were past that age, so you didn't really get to experience that as much growing up.
I was not into it at all. Magic the Gathering, I was playing that whenever I was in high school. Pokemon came out 3 years after high school for me, so I would have been 21 when Pokemon, like 1999, I would have been like 21. So playing trading card games with little cartoon cutesy characters on it wasn't something for me. So I got into it. I was like talking to him. Okay, so what will I need to start playing this with my kids? And I determined, I'm going to need basically a theme deck and late trainer box. Little did I know you couldn't find any of that stuff.
Ever.
I was like, I remember I was talking to him and I was pulled up on Google and I was typing in elite trainer boxes, and Walmart had thousands of different ETBs still in stock in my local store. And I'm like, oh man, this is cool. I'm going to go tomorrow, because I remember it was a Friday. And I was like, all right, I'm going to take the kids tomorrow. We're going to get this. It's going to be cool. Went there. Nothing. So, I managed to start picking up some things here and there at Target. A friend sent me some bulk so that I could start making some cards. But I actually bought the Battle Academy at Target for like $20. It comes with basically, it's like a board game that folds out, and it's actually basically your Pokemon mat. It came with 3 decks. It came with a Pikachu deck, a Charizard deck, and a Mewtwo deck. So for $20, I had 3 decks. Me and the kids were playing.
Everybody's obviously a little bush from all this pumping.
And then whenever I would find stuff in the wild, like, just opened it up. And I have an addictive personality. I never did drugs because I knew if I did, it would go horribly wrong. And this is completely the same case. So it's just like when you start opening up the cards and you're going through them and you get that rainbow rare Pikachu, then it's like, you know what I mean? Your heart is pumping. You got the adrenaline rush. So that's definitely where the gambling thing is for me. So,
some of us haven't opened that Rainbow Rare Pikachu yet. But no, that's very good. One person had said that nothing beats passing down our games on to future generations. Does that play a part into you, Skinny? So it's something that you can do with the kids that maybe they're interested in. And, their age, at the age that they are at right now, Pokemon's popular again. It's big again with them. So do you think it's something with them?
Yeah, because I also collect video games, and the whole thing is like, so I have a lot of open product and I have a lot of sealed Pokemon stuff. And my whole goal is I'm keeping this stuff, and my kids are going to get it whenever they're adults. And hopefully they'll have fond memories of the times playing these games and the Pokemon cards and trading them and playing back and forth. Hopefully those will create fond memories for them that they want to keep. If they decide, I remember playing this with Dad, whatever, they just want to sell the shit and get rid of it, then sell the shit and get rid of it. But my goal as a dad, which is a completely different take in this because Tiny Shoes isn't big enough yet.
I have no children.
Is trying to create positive memories that my kids will have.
Yeah, and that's good into it. So that kind of gets into why we all got into this piece. Now, you touched a little on your first time going to the store, trying to get these. Rage, when you probably did the same thing. You wanted to get cards. What was it like for you finally, you're into the hobby, you decided something you want to do, and you go out into the wild trying to get some of these cards. How'd that go for you?
Let's just say by the time I got there, it's a barren desert. I mean, really, there are no cards left. My first time that I actually got lucky with getting some cards, it was my girlfriend at Walmart, and I was at work, and she texted, hey, she sent me a picture, and I actually have it. I got
He framed it.
Two of these roaring heat decks. I opened one, so I already sleeved I've the Incinerator. Sorry. I'm a little excited. These were the first two that I got, the only two that I've actually got inside of a store. Everything else I've had to purchase online. So I've literally been in the aisle and I've watched a small child just come over there with his mom and look for the cards. There's been no cards. He just puts his hand in his pocket, puts his head to the side, and they walk away. And it's a sad sight because, we've got grown folks out here stealing all the Pokemon. They're catching all of them and then some.
Yes. So my experience today. So, we talk about different forms of media and stuff, and one of them that I love to consume is TikTok. There was a guy on TikTok, and it was going basically through this, and, it was a guy coming up to him. He's like, hey, it says online that you have all these Pokemon cards. And the guy's like, well, we don't. And he's like, but it says online that you do. And the guy's like, yeah, well, online, it also shows a bunch of smiling faces. You see anybody around here smiling? And I was like, oh, okay. So the thing about it is they're unavailable right now. And we talk about, hey, all the online places say they're online. The problem is people that can't buy them, they're stealing them. These don't sit on the shelf anymore. They literally are just taken as soon as they are. And it's right. The sad part about it is we can't access it. So let's talk a little bit about that first. Scalping. Well, I'll let you go first, Skinny. Scalping. How do you feel about it? Good? Bad? What are your thoughts?
I mean, okay, so let's break this down first. So there's a couple different categories in the Pokemon card trading, whatever. So there's collectors, there's people that play, there's scalpers, and there's resellers. There is a big difference between scalpers and resellers. In my opinion, if it wouldn't be for resellers right now, me and Rage and tons of other people wouldn't be able to get anything. Because there are the scalpers that buy everything and sell it for 2 to 3 times the cost. And then there's resellers, which I'm assuming they're buying bulk because they have some type of distribution, or they're going in and they're also buying up entire shelves, but they're not selling it at crazy prices. So like today I had 3 Pikachu V boxes delivered. They retailed MSRP for $19.99. I've seen them going on eBay and stuff for like $50.
Yeah.
I bought all 3 of these off of a reseller for $30 shipped.
Oh.
So I paid $10 more per box from a reseller as opposed to spending $30 more from a scalper. So there's a big difference, but I think resellers will always be there. Scalpers are kind of what is kind of hurting because every time I go into a trading card shop or whatever, the first thing I say is, I got into this to play with my kids, and then I realized it's a horrible time to get into this with your kids.
Yeah. Way more expensive. Yeah, I see something. I agree with a bunch of that. So, Rage, what are your thoughts? Scalping, good, bad? What do we got?
Well, scalping is definitely not good. I think I personally had the experience when I purchased the Champions Path ETB. When I first tried to really get into it, it was one of my first bigger package purchased online, and I spent $75 on it, which at the time that was decently cheap because they were starting to pop off for like $100.
Yeah.
So, but when I received this package, it was honestly I was already sketched because I got the shipping information relatively quick. And it showed up within like the same week. When I saw the packaging, it didn't really look like, the regular packaging that it should come in, mainly the plastic around it. And of course, he sent an extra pack of energy cards and then another Champions Path ETB manual.
Oh, that's so nice.
Yeah, right. So I received this package that he says it's new, brand new. The only one he had supposedly, yet he had the extra manual. And there's no booster packs inside, no promo card for the Charizard, and no 65 card sleeves. Now, he says he has no idea about this, but you can go around and you can find people that are just selling the packs of the cards outside of the box. So it's really just hard for me to believe it was the only one getting the money back from that. So scalping personally affected me right off the bat because he was scalping to sell two things individually and try to make an even bigger profit, which is just extremely crooked.
Yes. So not only was he scalping, but he was cheating you basically. He was and not selling true product.
It's like it kind of goes back to like Skinny, like he's trying to play this with his kids. So it goes back to that when I said, you got kids that can't even buy the cards anymore because people are just buying them all up. And then they sell them for, for prices that only adults could probably buy because you don't see 12-year-olds walking around with a couple $100s in their pocket to go buy some of these products.
If you see those kids, send them my way and I'll throw some elbows.
I'm going to get those $100.
It's just really ridiculous. Most of the things that I have bought in bulk, but not in stores. I just buy in bulk online. I was going for things that were, pretty good price. Darkness Ablaze booster boxes, the Vivid Voltage. I bought 2 of those booster boxes, paid, a little bit higher of a price, but they got to me quickly and they weren't tampered with. So that was the best part for me. But I mean, from here on out, if it's going to be clear the shelves, I'm just going to stick to what I did with Battle Styles. And that's just, pre-order. As soon as I see it, pre-order while it's cheap. And hopefully you get a good seller.
Yeah, no, that's good. So my experience with
pre-ordering it when it's cheap isn't even retail.
Yeah, it's still double. So you pre-order your Shining Fates. Those ETBs you're pre-ordering for like $70. They come in. They're gonna buy those at like $30 and sell them at $50. You have to pre-order at $80. And so overall, like it's kind of hard.
I didn't come in with Shining Fates, so I don't know how much. But like the Battle Styles, those were relatively cheap to pre-order right off the bat. I was getting them as like $60, which is still like $20 over. I think maybe the first one I got for like 55. But I mean, compared to either paying $100 or not getting one at all, I figured it's not that bad. But definitely still over. I'd rather go to the store and be able to buy one at this point.
Yeah, and this is just becoming a crazy thing. So Pokemon just had a release on these 10 Pokeballs, and I know that I messaged you guys to grab them. So these 10 Pokeballs were selling at retail. They were pre-ordering at retail. There were so many pre-ordered, they actually could not send those out. I imagine you guys haven't got yours.
Had ours delayed.
Yeah, mine just says order received.
Yeah, so we'll get it one day.
Yeah,
and the problem is what's inside them isn't even chase packs. It's not great. It's not the greatest stuff. It's just product at a reasonable price. So the scalping thing, it's really gotten into Pokemon, but it kind of, if you look back, it really started with football and baseball cards. That's what's really right. And if you guys aren't into that, but if you really got into that, it feels like Pokemon prices are really crazy, but baseball and football card prices are insane right now. You'll go into Walmart and they sell these mega boxes, Bowman mega boxes. You buy them for $50. The first week after they're out, they're already up to $250, and they've got every scalper's grab to everyone in line. Then they just continue to go up. And I can't be mad at the scalper, so to say. I know it's easy for me to kind of jump in and be like, oh, scalpers, I hear what they're doing. But, they understand economics. They're controlling the supply. If these companies really cared about it, because the companies aren't making anything on the secondary market. They don't make anything from their cards being sold after they come out. So if they cared about this kind of thing, they would print more product. But they don't print that more product because they have issues with distribution and shipping. And it doesn't seem like it's something that they really intend to do right now, is to print that product at a level that makes it so that we can really consume. Pokemon has come out.
That's actually smart on their part, though. If you want to, so it's smart for the companies to not up production. They want the demand for their product. Like they might speak out and say, we hate the fact that scalpers are buying up all of the product and nobody can get it. They really don't, because people who want the product are getting the product. They're getting their maximized profit. If they up production, they might run into a situation where scalpers can't keep up. The demand isn't there. They start to lose money.
So do you think that we have to find a middle ground? You know, do they have to come to a point where they print enough for everybody to get their hands on it, but not so much that it devaluates? So right now,
I don't think that's actually good for the industry, to be honest.
Really? Like printing enough for everybody to get their hands on the product? Because it's still... Go ahead.
Like go ahead. Go ahead.
There is that demand for it. So there's the rush of when you go to... So I have...
It feels like gambling.
I have one of the trainer toolkits. It was like $30. Bought it at Target. I'd gone, and this was before I started actually finding stuff on shelves. I walked past that thing like 5 times because every time I went to Target, they had like 30 of them. And it's like, if you see stuff on the shelf, you're more likely to walk past it because you're like, oh, it'll probably be here in 2 days whenever I come back. Where now it's like you walk into Target and they have, crappy tins. You're buying as many as they'll let you because you're probably not going to see them.
Yeah. And
I think scalping actually has to exist in order for it to stay the way it is. I just think the correct way to navigate it is through, and I have no problem with people profiting off of this. As far as resellers, I think the smart choice is if you don't have a connection where you're going to be able to get product MSRP on day one, you pay a little bit extra, you go through the resellers, the scalpers are going to buy as many as they can, and they're going to sell as many of them as they can at the crazy high prices to the people that have the bank accounts that can afford it. Mm-hmm. Once those people buy the product, those scalpers are going to bring their prices down where they're going to end up matching the reseller price until they're gone. And the cycle is just going to continue. They're going to maximize their profits while they can. But when they're sitting on product, they're going to bring it down to a lower price and get rid of it. Nobody's going to learn anything through this.
Yeah. So, I mean, you have basically an unregulated market all the way. And I mean, we talk about free market capitalism and everybody's like, oh yeah, there shouldn't be laws and regulations when it comes to, purchasing and selling. Well, unfortunately, this is a big part of a free market. There is no regulation right now. So as long as we can't meet supply, that demand just keeps shooting up. And you'll see what's really crazy about, so I mean, you guys are in the Pokemon buy sell trade groups on Facebook and stuff as well. What you see is on release days, you'll see the prices go down. Then by the end of the week, before we've got another release, guess what? They've crept back up again because people don't have them to sell anymore. Rage, you had something, and I want to make sure I get that.
I was just going to say, I mean, I understand, free market, no regulations, but would it really be a bad idea? Okay, booster packs, buy as many as you want. But on new release, how about for the first week, you just regulate to, okay, for the bigger packages, you only can limit 2 per customer or something like that. Make sure, I mean, they're still going to get the profits because obviously people are still coming in to purchase, but there's nothing sitting on the shelves. So that way you give everybody a fair chance the first week to, maybe grab a bigger item if they want. And then after that, it's open to whoever. Come scalp.
Yeah, a lot of Targets you've actually seen doing that. They're limiting there, and when the guy comes, there's a line, out and around the Target.
Yeah.
Of how many people, and I know you guys have probably seen the videos of how crazy that is, and they can get 2 items, but
my Target was 2 for the longest time, and then they just upped it to 3.
Yeah, and you still can't find product on the shelf even at that point. And it got to the point, so I know that one of the guys that I open cards with is real frustrated because you had that Shining Fates release. The Shining Fate came out, and they're like, hey, boom, new set. We got in there, we're like pre-ordering, boom, let's pre-order. Well, we're pre-ordering Shining Fates ETBs. You go into the shop and they want $140 for it at a pre-order price, and that's because I talked to this card shop owner because me and this guy, I've been buying cards from him since 2008. Like that's how long I've been buying cards from this specific shop, and I have that conversation, and he said, if you look online right now, these are selling for about $150 each. If I don't keep these at this price, all that happens is somebody comes in, buys all of my product, and then immediately flips it online. At this rate, if I put it at that 125, 130, 140, it is no longer profitable for them to flip it. Yeah, it costs my customers more, and they may not buy as much of it. He said, but I mean, I'm the only place right now that you can go and get a Shining Fates in person. It's like nowhere around can you do that. And I was like, well, yeah, I mean, you're technically right, but it sucks for us who I just wanted to open some Shining Fates. And I have an in where I can get product a lot easier than other individuals can. And I still don't get to open Shining Fate stuff. Like I've got a bunch, but I've sent them out to friends. I've said, hey, you need some. I know you guys need them. You guys need them at cost. I don't want you guys having to look for this stuff. So I sent them out, and then I'm in my closet. I'm like, man, I only got like one Shining Fates.
Those are the only ones I've fucking opened.
Yeah, I only got one Shining Fates in here. I need to find more, but it's hard to find more. And even for me,
I feel like that's another aspect that we should touch on too.
Yeah,
is so just this past week, I mean, I sent you out one of the first partner packs that had the oversized Grookey, Score Bunny, and Sobble cards, and I sent 10 packs of booster packs of Vivid Voltage out to another friend in Tennessee. So there's also people that we go to the stores and we end up buying almost everything that they have just for ourselves and to hook up friends that have no other ways of getting the product.
Yep.
So it's like, to just like a normal person at the cash register, we're scalpers.
Yeah.
And it's only because like we're just trying to get stuff for ourselves and hook friends up that can't get stuff.
Yeah.
So I mean, that's another thing that makes the industry harder,
and
is because you're pulling product from one area, sending it to another area where they already got their product, it already disappeared. So there's lots of just shuffling across the world of these products from different locations other than where they were shipped to.
Yeah. I talked to the guy that I opened cards with, Justin the Saiyan, and we've had a long conversation. The first time I had a conversation with him, the week Shining Fates came out, I walked up to the front of the store. All the ETBs were gone, but there were still a bunch of the 10s. And, I grabbed 3 of them. I said, hey, I'm going to grab these 3 10s. So I grabbed them. I put them in my cart. I put them in a bag. I walked out to the car, put them in the cart, and then I called them. I said, hey, this store has it in stock. So there was probably, I'm not going to lie to you, there were probably 30 10s left. 30 10s left. I called him. We had a conversation. He's like, yo, don't even call me. Just go grab them, He's like, we're good. So I walked back into the store to go buy those. And there was an individual there, and they swiped every single one into a shopping cart, then grabbed both the display boxes of all the single packs that were like Sword and Shield and other things, and then grabbed a bunch of the other anything Pokemon and went right in their cart. And then they went right over and checked it out. So I felt bad. I didn't want to do it because I'm like, hey, I don't want to grab all these items. So a week and a half later, he's shopping at a Walmart, and he's right there when they're stocking it. And he calls me and he's like, hey man, I want me to grab you some. And I was like, grab everyone on the shelf. And he said, are you sure? I mean, what? He's like, what if somebody wants these? And I said, listen, if you don't take them, the very next person that walks in that knows about cards, they're going to buy every single one of those. And he even said, as he was walking out, a guy looked into his cart, pulled out his phone, and then ran over to the Shining Fates area, or to where all the cards are. That's how it is right now, and I felt bad. It's barren. There's nothing product. This is bled into other card games as well. So you guys have really got into Pokemon, but I've really started looking at all the TCGs, all the card games. Yu-Gi-Oh! Has started to see rise in prices, which is insane because Yu-Gi-Oh! Has so much product. They have so many card releases. It's insane how many they have. Other card games, so the Digimon card game just released this year. Those individuals that resell and scalp, they've got a wind of this. The boxes, they cost the stores like 70-something bucks. So usually the stores are MSRPing them at $90-something. Luckily, the guy that works at the shop I go to, he got me some boxes and he sold them to me at MSRP. But online, those boxes are going for $150, $200. just to buy them, and there's not enough product available. Bandai, which is it's a Japanese company, I try to contact them through Twitter and their website. It's all in Japanese, so it didn't go too well for me.
Old school game.
Google Translate, man.
Yeah. So, I couldn't even find where to put the email in. I was trying. So I just messaged their Twitter, and, they released a statement that said, hey, you know what? We're not going to let this determine if we are going to, you guys aren't going to be able to get a product. So at the end of March and through April, we're going to reprint product into the ground. So I'm excited, but I'm also sad in two parts. First, I'm excited because I'm going to be able to get that product. I cannot wait to get that product. But I'm also kind of sad because all of
Value
all the cards that I have that are worth $100 plus dollars are now going to be worth a lot less. So that's what I think about you guys. That's kind of my next question. So Pokemon said they're going to do that as well. So them printing this and printing and printing and printing. As a collector, does it make you happy? And as a person who's trying to obtain value in that space, in the card space, how does it make you feel? So I know you talked about it a little bit, Skinny, so I'll let Rage go first, and then you can go after that, Skinny. So Rage, what do you think?
Well, the thing is, even if they print and print and print and people know this, how much is it really going to be worth, to somebody? Most people are trying to, maybe they'll go back and buy the old ETBs and stuff. You'll be able to get them. It might drive the price down. I'd still pull it for the cards. There's still some cards I feel like that no matter what are going to have a price value on them. Even if they're releasing a shit ton of the cards, they're still only going to make a certain amount of some variations of the cards. So,
yeah.
It's still going to hold some price.
Yeah. And the rarity will play into it as well. But one thing that I've always, one thing that's always been big into me, and it's the same thing with like Magic the Gathering and something I've been playing for a long time. The actual companies do not care about the secondary card market. So they are unaffected by how much each one of these cards cost.
Yeah.
The only thing it will do is it will continue to get people to try to open packs. But when you talk to longtime collectors, people that have been doing cards for a long time, most of them will tell you the same thing. Don't buy boxes, buy singles. Because you're unlikely to get them with singles. Boxes are like the lottery. Singles are a guaranteed thing. So as long as we keep buying these boxes, they have no issue printing, and I get it. I get that there was issues with printing this year because we had everything going on. I know for a fact that Corona impacted the Shining Fates. That was a whole ordeal. Stores were ordering 200 boxes for pre-orders. They only got 5. So I get it was that, but somewhere we have to course correct or find a way to make at least a little more product, in my opinion. Now, is my value going to go down? Yes, unfortunately, yes, it will. But also, there are chase cards that I want that I don't know if I'm ever going to be able to get because they came out during a time when it was really hard for product to be found during Pokemon and stuff like that. Skinny.
So that's where, like I said, I play and I collect. I personally am not collecting for monetary value because the way my plan is, my kids are going to get this stuff when they're older. If that stuff is valuable, whenever they're older and they get the stuff, they're the ones that are going to profit off of it, not me.
Yeah.
So as far as them printing a lot of product and putting it on the shelves, as a collector who doesn't care about value, that's awesome. As someone who plays the game, that's awesome. But on the other side of the spectrum, as someone who collects for value, it's a problem.
Mm-hmm.
So you're never going to be able to appease the whole broad audience of Pokemon collectors.
Yeah.
It's just a matter of, like I've come to accept if I want things, buy singles. If you don't have the money to buy a bunch of packs and stuff, buy singles of the cards that you're emotionally attached to, you have an interest in. Or learn to find resellers or decent websites selling stuff at a reasonable cost But I don't necessarily think things are going to change. I don't think that there's really any motivation for the companies to change. I think that if they up their production, it's potentially going to hurt them and the entire industry. I mean,
yeah, I'd get with that. Blue said that he's in that mixed group where he likes to collect them for monetary value and because he likes to collect them. He likes to gather teams and everything else like that. I would say that would be my experience with Magic the Gathering. Like, I like to collect them because I like to have the cards and I think they're neat and I play the game, so having them is a real big deal. So getting these new cards, but also I like value. So they are cards that I'll chase after in the set because I know, boom, this is worth a lot of money. So I guess a good question would be, how do you solve this issue? What do you think we could do to solve the current, and it sounds so silly to use the word crisis, but I mean, for some people, that's what it is. They haven't been able to get product for a year now. So how do we solve this issue? What do you think?
I'm not 100% sure that there is a set answer. I think the only way to survive is to adjust. At some point, will I be able to walk into a Target and there will be tons of product on the shelves? Maybe. Has the landscape been forever changed because of this? Probably.
Yeah. I'd agree with that. Rage, what do you think? Do you think there's a way to fix it?
I mean, right now, I think you just got to kind of wait it out. I mean, to me, I kind of look at it like stocks. I mean, Pokemon is up right now, but just like what you said, I mean, Digimon was starting to make a comeback. Obviously, they said, if they're going to be printing a bunch of product, but there's going to be other cards that are taken off too. Part of it, honestly, I think part of it is because of COVID. People were indoors. I mean, what's the best thing to do indoors? Collect cards, play trading card games. I mean, I do it for a little bit of the collection. I like to get a high value card. But I mean, still, even if they print a bunch, I mean, that high value card you have, maybe it's a certain amount, maybe it's cut in half. It's still going to be the higher valued card, maybe just not as much. I would love to buy something in the store, so I wouldn't hate it, but I definitely could see, I mean, if you got a really expensive card and it drives down the value, I mean, it's almost like you got to wait for time because you can't, I mean, it's harder to get what Skinny got, like a base set Charizard. I mean, those cards are always going to retain value because they're going to eventually stop printing. There's no way that they're going to continue just printing out the same set over and over. Eventually, they're going to move on. Maybe they'll print 2 or 3 sets at a time.
They've already, they don't print the base set Charizards anymore. And
exactly.
And the Evolutions one is a reprint of base set. So those are the 2 Charizards that I bought graded that I want to have in my collection.
And they also hold value.
They'll hold value.
Well, they're personal and monetary.
They're not like the highest grades possible.
Yeah.
But if you're a collector, there's certain cards that you have to have in your collection. And I think if you're a Pokemon collector, a base set Charizard is what you want.
Oh, must be nice having a base set Charizard.
But he singled it out. He wanted it, just like he was saying. You find that single card in your collection and you get it.
Yeah.
Me, I mean, I get a big thrill of opening the packs. I mean, pulling that Jirachi you saw the other night. I want to build decks and play, and that's a great card to have in a deck.
Yeah, it's really powerful. So I have 2 things, kind of 2 thoughts on it. So first thing, Blue said he's into that thing where, he's like, hey, you can't. The way that you really would stop that whole thing is people stop buying from scalpers. And the only unfortunate part is cards equal content right now. Cards are good content. People enjoy watching packs open. So if they want content, they're going to have to go through these individuals because they're the ones grabbing that or finding that hookup. Also, for people that have collecting a long time, it's really hard for those individuals to not buy, even if they have to pay the scalper prices, because there is no market for that. There is no, hey, this is a market cap for what we should sell this for. Like, you think about a McDouble. I mean, I'm probably not going to pay more than $2 for a McDouble. But if everybody's McDouble was priced $250, I'm either gonna buy that McDouble or I'm gonna do without. And you know, I'm a large man, so
I think
my
the
McDoubles.
scalpers are making the majority of their money with the people that have the expendable income to be able to do it. Then once they move the product at that highest price, they eventually drop the price to be able to move it.
Yeah. Or hold for years to sell at a better price.
Yeah.
While there's people with money, the scalpers they'll always be in business as long as somebody has some expendable money.
You know, it's hard for them because especially if they live in an area like where I live. So I'm in greater St. Louis area. It isn't just them scalping. There are probably hundreds of scalpers in this area. So they aren't making as much money. This turns out to be a job for them because every day they have to get up early and they have to go to stores and they have to pick a store they're going to go to and hope that that's the store that they're stocking early and they can be in line and get the product. And there's other people in line. You go into a Walmart at Thursday at 7 a.m. and go over to the card aisle and see how many people are just standing there hoping that the stalker is going to come around. So, I mean, they've got a lot into what they're doing right now, and it's just another way to find that income piece. So, I don't know if they're making good money off of it, which a lot of them aren't, but some of them are. Why stop?
But for some of them too, it's a market where they can actually make some money.
Yeah,
where they might have things in their history, whether it be like a criminal history, or something that is preventing them from being able to get a job to actually be able to make money. So for some people, this is the only way that they can make money.
Yeah, think about when COVID was powerful. I mean, this is really during the peak of COVID. That's when the scalping really became a forefront issue for me and like a lot of the people I know because the shelves just started getting so barren. So two things really pushed it. First of all, Logan Paul doing that dang video where he opened that base set box and people realized, holy crap, these cards can actually be worth money. So that was a big one as well. And then
Logan Paul.
A lot of people, you know, they lost their job. So I know a couple of friends that were in like the construction industry, and for a while during COVID, that was gone, and they had nothing to do with their time. They weren't really making money because they weren't building houses because we couldn't. So they found other ways to make money, and them moving items like scalping stuff like that was quick ways to make a buck. I know people that are up $60,000-$70,000 just in a year of scalping. What job can you just go get that you'll be up $60,000 or $7,000 in extra income over expenses in a year? I don't have that job. So,
and you get to make your own hours, you know?
Yeah, they decide their hours, so they go shopping till noon. Well, I've talked to some, and it's like an all-day thing for some of them. They get up and they're out of the house before the sun, and they're at Walmart's all day just going, and they're making connections with friends, and they're calling. But yeah, I mean, if they don't want to go in, they don't go in. So, but if we really wanted to talk solutions, I think if we want to go solutions, this won't happen because it's too expensive to distribute. But the Pokemon card company, Bandai, Wizards of the Coast, they should allow you to buy directly from their distributors. If they let you pre-order, I'm not even saying buy normally, I would say pre-order. If they let you pre-order from distributors, that curbs a lot of this. What are you guys' thoughts on that?
I think that if you could order direct from manufacturer, distributor, that would be perfect. But there is a little bit of a thrill of the chase, you know what I mean? Where it's cool waking up every morning and going downstairs to my post office or to my mailbox and having packages sitting there. It's like every day's Christmas.
Oh, yeah.
But there's the rush of you go to the store and boom, there's a bunch of ETBs sitting there on the shelf, or there's a bunch of product of, you know, really even just blister packs at this point is enough to get you hard.
Yeah.
You're not going to get that rush from ordering direct. But I'm fine with that, you know?
Yeah. And I mean, I just think of all the times I walked by the counters and they had full ETBs on them and I didn't grab one. I'm thinking now, and I just, want to go back and kick myself in the teeth for that, because I could have so much more product when I'm not really able to get any now. But we talk about new releases and everything, and I'm hoping battle styles won't be chased as hard. I was looking at some of the pull rates today. There's a Tyranitar in the battle style set that is going to that thing's gonna be worth money. It's
Tyranitar after the buffet.
I've got a bunch of battle styles on the way. Let's hope.
Listen, if you get 2 of them,
I literally bought everything in the battle style set.
Yeah. So
I have it all.
Well, Rage, if I get one, I'll let you know. And that's another thing.
Yeah.
So,
Probably will.
Rage likes to give me crap because I've actually had some decent luck with pulls.
Yes, great luck.
Great. It is pretty good luck.
And one thing that Shiny mentioned earlier
is the pull in the single packs.
I haven't opened a single booster box.
Yeah.
Mine have all been single packs. Where for the most part, Rage has been all booster boxes.
And pull rates are different. We know that.
I will have to add though.
But a lot of people right now are like, don't buy single packs because people are weighing them. Blah 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 blah.
I bought 3 Rebel Clash. I opened them on stream. 3 green cards. Not in there. I've honestly, the one thing that I do like about the booster boxes is even though I'm not maybe getting the top card, which I mean in Darkness Ablaze, I did get the VMAX Charizard, so I mean that was a top pull now for that set. I mean the Charizard itself is still one of the lowest priced, I feel like, high tier Charizards in a set. But I mean that was still a good pull. I mean I was happy with that. But definitely I get a lot of variety. I mean with the Vivid Voltage, I did open 2 booster boxes, and did I make the money back if I wanted to sell? No, but I do have I have a lot of the Vivid Voltage set now. I have a lot of the cards. I got a lot of the V's, a lot of the VMAX. I was really happy with like I said, the Jirachi and a couple of the other art cards that I got. So I mean it's win some lose some. At the end of the day, like Skinny was saying, there's collectors, there's scalpers, there's people that are just trying to flip it. Now, I talk all day about the money and how much the card is. I'd like to flip it. But at the end of the day, I'm too lazy, so I'm probably just going to keep it in my binder and look at it every time. Just look at it, build my decks, and try to beat people IRL.
Yep, like I have a stack of sleeved cards that I don't have any sentimental attachment with. That the plan is I will eventually list these and try to get rid of them. But really, will I?
Yeah, that's the thing when it comes to me. I say I'm going to, but
yeah, and I tell my wife all the time, I pull out all the Magic binders and we're sitting there and I'm just patting my hand on it. I'm like, Jill, $20,000 in Magic cards right here. And she's like, no, there's $20,000 worth of cards right there and it's worth nothing until you sell it. Well, that's true.
Just think how the price will rise. You no longer can
when
find
it comes
them.
to Magic cards, I got diamond hands. I never sell them.
Well,
AMC all the way.
Those cards, then they're going to be cutting those cards up, yo.
Yeah. So that's just
great fun.
Yeah. Okay. So that's kind of what we want to talk about tonight. Really get a lot into there. We're kind of hitting close to our hour mark, and I always promise I won't go over an hour. So let's start off. Rage. If they wanted to contact you, get a hold of you, check you out, where would they go?
Well, I don't have a lot of social media. I do have Twitter and Facebook. Both of them are STLRag. I don't like to differentiate from the normal name. Easy to find me.
With a 3 at the end.
With a 3 at the end, yes, of course. Just like in my emblem that you can see at the top of my display screen. Yeah, you can also find me on Twitch, same way STLRag with the 3 for the E. I like to do a lot of variety gaming. I play whatever I feel like. And lately I've been opening some booster boxes on stream, trying to pull the big one.
Yeah. And pretty soon you guys are going to see him in some Pokemon tournaments. He's told me 1,000 times.
Oh, yeah.
He's going to be the greatest Pokemon card trainer ever to play the game.
Next week, we're going to get a lot of fucking battle styles in, and I'm going to be shredding them and ripping them. I'm going to open 3 booster boxes, a couple ETBs is going to be big.
He's gonna be like this with all those single hits.
Oh yeah.
Listen, if you
I ordered 10 more battle style single packs today just to make it rain a little early.
Oh man! Listen, if you pulled that Tyranitar, I've got a Shining Fates box up in the closet
I'm pulling
for
2
you.
of them. Okay, easy.
All right. Next, Jimmy Skinny. Same thing.
You can find me on twitch.tv/Jimmy Skinny. I'm currently playing through the Rockstar game releases. So I started off with Max Payne 2 years ago, and we're on Red Dead Redemption 2 right now. That's the last game. And I'm looking to start playing Pokemon trading card game online as well. So yeah, as far as like Twitter and Instagram, you can find me as Skinny Stream. So because I'm different like that.
So everybody, this has been the NerdLore podcast. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe on our videos. You can find us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Last FM. Basically, anywhere you can find a podcast, we're going to be there. Our big things are going to be Spotify. We're hosted through Podbean. If you guys have any questions or anything, reach out to us. We're always more willing to talk. If you guys have a comment or idea for a video, let us know. This has been Shiny Shoes, STLRag3 and Jimmy Skinny. You guys have a good one.